Today we're talking to St Albans City manager Ian Allinson at Parkview Road, where the Saints have picked up a National League South point with a 2-2 draw against high-flying Welling United. The match got off to a tremendous start, Ian. On 12 seconds, Welling could have taken a lead. Before the minute was out, Zane Banton had a shot saved. But after that, we took the honours in the first half. We took the lead through Zane Banton. But the second half, we couldn't quite match that intensity at the start of it, and they came back with 2 quick goals.
Yeah, I think you're right, David. As I said there, I felt first half I thought we were very good. For 25 minutes I thought it was excellent. I felt the shape we played caused them some problems. They had to change their shape slightly. We were getting into some really good areas and caused some problems. We scored the goal, got one up, hit the post with another opportunity, but really looked quite good. I felt quite comfortable. They got in a couple of times on breakaways, but Dean felt quite comfortable, apart from the one which just literally gone through his legs and he's had to dive back on it. But I was quite pleased, really pleased with the first half, especially the first 25 minutes, because I felt we were on the front foot, took the game to them, looked comfortable. The second half I thought we went out and we were very passive. I felt second half we never really got going. I think it looked like we were trying to look after what we got, and we didn't want them to do that. We spoke at length at half time about being brave on the ball and passing the ball and keeping the ball and frustrating them, and we didn't do that, and the 2 goals we conceded were really poor goals, and it's just a shame. And I just spoke to Glenn there. It's stuff that we continually work on week out, week in, week out, week in, week out, but unfortunately we've got players that are not grasping what's being told, and when they got into the situation, we've got to be squeezing, we've got to be coming out of the box, and both goals we've left people in there. We've played, until I look at the video highlights, I won't know who's played people on who haven't done their job properly, and then I'll have to deal with that internally, because they're not good goals we've conceded today. I think Josh Hill came in as a substitute and he scored 2 goals before he touched the ball, so we have to look at stuff like that, because I was really disappointed with the goals. And then obviously we've had the 2 send-ins off, which obviously left them with 9 men for sort of last 15 minutes, and I just didn't think we were good enough to go and get something, even though we had 1 or 2 really good chances and a little bit more composure in and around the 18-yard box, 6-yard box in the last sort of 5 minutes. We could have quite easily come away with a 3-2 win today. Full credit to them for hanging on with 9 men, but for me that's 2 points lost in the end. We
lost Clovis Camjo at half-time with an injury, and up until half-time, as you say, we were in control, particularly in the midfield there, and losing him from it, do you think that was quite a pivotal part of the game?
I think it was, because he'd been a colossus in there for us in terms of the amount of balls that he'd won, the amount of balls and headers, and the combative nature that he gave us in there against 2 really big players in Ajay and Mendy. It was just a physical battle, but I felt him and David coped with that really well first half, and I think losing him, we never really got to grips with their physicality in the second half. And as I say, I think in the end we were quite fortunate that maybe the 2 sending off has allowed us to get back in the game, but then we should have gone on and won the game, because I felt at 2-1 we were struggling. They were on the front foot, they were on a high, the crowd had got behind them. I was just disappointed, as I say, with the 2 goals we conceded, and they were both very, very similar to each other. We didn't defend the first ball in terms of where the man on the ball had. We didn't get enough bodies out. We didn't talk and close the cross down. We didn't stop the cross, and when the cross come in, we were too deep, playing people on side. But as I say, until I look at the video highlights and have a look at who's done their jobs, who haven't done their jobs, and then we can, as I say, we can work on that in training.
You said you weren't happy with the goals we conceded. I suspect the defence weren't either. Tom Bender, it was him who hit the post in the first half. He got into a bit of a barney with some of his teammates after one of the goals. Well,
it's something that we spoke to Tom at length on Thursday evening, Glenn and myself, because he's the captain of the side, while David Noble's injured. And we spent about half an hour with Tom in terms that we want him to be more of a leader on the pitch, and he's done exactly what I asked him to do. He didn't think somebody did their job. Somebody's obviously reacted to that, didn't like it, and there's a bit of melee gone on in there. I know Tom got a yellow card, but he's done nothing more than what I asked him to do on Thursday. But as I say, there's something's gone on. I need to ask a few questions to find out what's gone on, and then we'll deal with that internally throughout the week.
Since leaving us and playing against us, Josh Hill has kindly given us a couple of own goals. He did nearly cost us big time today, didn't he?
Yeah, he did, and that's just at the end of the day. you've got to say well done to Josh at the end of the day. He's took both the goals well. The first one, the save's about a yard out. So, you know, how he's still onside is I keep going over it. I have to question why he's still onside, because from where he was, he should be miles offside, and we've not done the job properly. So, good luck to him. But you know, I can't worry about Josh Hill and his 2 goals. I have to worry about why we've just conceded another 2 goals and the manner we conceded the 2 goals. Because yeah, okay, if we don't come out, then we've got to go and defend properly. But we didn't shut the ball down. We didn't shut the cross down. We've allowed the lad to get 2 crosses in and score 2 goals. And they're the areas we have to understand why we didn't close the ball down, why we didn't double up on the wide men, stop the ball. And then once it does come into the box, we've got to question why people haven't done their jobs properly. But we have to go away. And as I said, from where I was now, it's very difficult to know who was at fault and who wasn't at fault.
First sending off, Danny Mills. I should assume it's for an arm up into someone's face. I didn't see any of our players actually screaming for it at the time. Did you get a clear view?
All I see was that Michael went down holding his head, so that's all I can say. But you know, I think Danny Mills has been around long enough, and I've not seen him do that with any malice in the past. So you know, again, it's one of them. There's a load of bodies in there. The referee was very, very quick to brandish a red card. I mean, he didn't hang around. So he blew his whistle and went up. You know, I think, but it was one of them. I didn't know whether it was one of their players or one of our players. So obviously, I didn't see nothing went on. And again, until we look at the video highlights, we'll have to wait and see again.
The second sending off, which conceded a penalty, from which Sam Merson salvaged a point. People who had a view of that, they all seemed to think it was a penalty, which was obviously going to be a second yellow.
We said in the first half there was a lot of holding going on there, and certainly Sam was held as he made the run. And unfortunately the lad was already on a yellow card, so there's not a lot the referee can do there. So he's obviously brandished a second yellow, which has led to a red card. Unfortunately there's not a lot the referee, I don't think, can do with that. It is a penalty where I'm concerned from where I was. And you know, Sam's finished it off really well, obviously got us back in the game. Still got roughly around about 15 minutes to go. Obviously they've defended really well. They've defended their box and made life difficult for us, and let us get it round the areas on the outside, and we put some crosses in, and we've got 1 or 2 half chances. I think it was Sam Merson again late on had a shot that's deflected and gone off for a corner, and just a little bit more composure in there. He could have probably took a touch and then just smashed it home. And then, as I say, for me, it just sums up how, you know, we get a corner in the 95th minute and we miskick the ball, and that for me really summed up some of the second half for us. You know, we've got one last chance to put the ball in the box, one last chance to go and get 3 massive points, and we put the ball along the floor from a corner. And some of that is just basically poor execution of a skill of putting a ball into an area where we can go and try and score another goal.
James Ewington, his second competitive game for the club. It is a big step up, everybody knows that, and this is probably as big a game as he's ever played in.
Well, it's tough for him because at the moment, as I said, you know, we haven't got a David Noble in the side who can feed balls through for him. A lot of the stuff that we did today, we tried to play on some angle balls, which I felt worked first half. We caused them some problems. We scored the goal from it, but we're looking obviously for Sam to lead and to James to get on the end of it. Some of the quality from the back today wasn't good enough first half. We just hopefully just lumping it in the end, and we've got to be better than that. You know, we spoke at half time about being brave, putting good quality balls in, and giving the 2 forwards an opportunity. And when we do that, you know, we've been good, and the goal come from something that we've been working on. Zane got in there and obviously finished it off, and we've had 1 or 2 other opportunities, but some of the quality from the back today was just really lumping it and hoofing it, and we're better than that. And that's why we said at half time, let's be braver on the ball, let's try and be smarter on the ball, braver on the ball. When I say be braver on the ball, have some confidence to go and do stuff. We ended up lumping it, and their 2 centre halves loved it, and we played into their hands a little bit. But you know, as I say, you know, if you'd have given me a draw before, we'd have come out and snapped your hands off. But unfortunately, we're just drawing too many games at the moment. We've got to start winning games. I think there's 3 draws on the trot, and I felt if we got in front of a team that, you know, when they could come at us, we could hit teams on the counter attack. And I say we allowed them into the game too quickly after the start of the second half.
From what I've been told, none of the sides in the top half of the table could be bothered to win today, so it would have been handy to make our numerical advantage win.
It would have been great because it would have put us, you know, I think 4 or 5 points away from the playoffs, and as I said, now it puts a little bit of pressure onto people, and You know, I will put pressure on these players because they've got to understand what it's like to play with pressure. But you know, we've got to go and win games of football. We've got 2 home games next Saturday and next Tuesday, and we've got to be looking to try and get 6 points. And if people, you know, feel that the pressure's on them, then it is on them, because you know, I want 6 points next week. I wanted 3 points here today. I felt there was 3 points to get, and I feel we've come away here only with 1 point, and we should have had all 3 points. I want 6 points now in the next 2 games, and the players will feel the pressure, and they've got to really step up to the plate now and go and score some goals. Make sure we keep clean sheets and score goals. The only way we're going to do it. We've conceded too many goals this year all season. You know, we made a big change around in September time. You know, we got rid of a couple of defenders, brought some defenders in, and they've done well. But the last few weeks again, we've just defended noviceusly again, and we're still giving many goals away. I said at the beginning of the season there'd be some high-scoring games this year, but it looks like we've got to score 3 goals every time we play a game to win a game of football, and that can't be right. You know, let's go and get some boring 1-0s and maybe come like the old Arsenal was many years ago. But at least it'll give me 3 points, and I feel a little bit happier on a Saturday night.
Do you think any chance of Clovis or David Noble being fit for next week?
I'd say no. I'd say no at the moment, David. I mean, I wouldn't know with Clovis, but David Noble, it looks like we're now going to have an injection. He hasn't responded to the laser treatment he's had, so it looks like we'll have to just revert to a cortisone injection first and foremost and see what reaction we get from that. I mean, if we can get it done early part of the week, Monday or Tuesday, we don't know, but we'll have to just wait and see on that one.
Right, well, light's gone out. Probably a good time to end it. Thanks so much, Ian.
Thanks, David.
Saints next in action. That's next Saturday, the 9th of March, when Dulwich Hamlet are the visitors to Clarence Park in National League South. Kick-off is at 3 p.m.